Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Tales from the Prick podcast. Here with me tonight, I have none other than the former Carnage Cup champion, the mental messiah, Insane Lane. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, this is going to be a very special one because I've been a fan of Insane Lane since watching the first Carnage Cup finals. It's a match that I suggest everybody to go watching. And actually, I would have started with some questions about how you started, but that's not very interesting to be honest. So I'll jump to the first actually interesting question. So there are many people who risk their lives in deathmatch wrestling, but you are one of those who really got beat up every time and always came back. Why did you decide to come this far with this style?
That's a good question. Um, to be quite honest, when I became a professional wrestler, I was not a deathmatch wrestler to start out. I was a traditional professional wrestler, and I did regular wrestling matches for a few years. It wasn't going. I wasn't going anywhere, and my sister's husband showed me a video of a death match of Necro Butcher, and I've known about it, but I was all he's like, I could see you doing this, and I've always liked hardcore matches, but I was like, it's out. I'm in the southern United States, and that stuff just doesn't fly. So once I got started into it, I kind of, I was real. I found out I was actually really good at it, and and I wanted to do more traditional matches along with the death matches, but people just wanted to see me do death matches, and I've been very fortunate enough to be able to come back and do death matches again. I feel like I'm doing them at a high level, and that's important because the guys today have really raised the bar up since I disappeared and came back. It's wild.
Yeah, and you came back and you just restarted with this blood and very, very, violent environment in all of the match. But like, how did you feel? Like, you have a very big pain tolerance, or it's just, that you're also very, driven by it, by the crowd, stuff like that.
I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess I feel like I suffer from imposter syndrome. Like I feel like I don't deserve things. So it's weird. I mean, I kind of like I don't know. I've had two wives, and they were both mean to me, and in a way, I kind of liked it. But at the end of the day, it got a little too much, and I think just I don't know. I watched the Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was one of the early ones, and Alice Cooper was playing Freddy Krueger's father, and he was just hitting young Freddy Krueger with a whip with a belt, and young Freddy was just laughing. He said, and this has stuck with me since I was a kid. He said, "Do you know what the secret of pain, not feeling? You know what the secret of pain is? If you just stop feeling it." And he stabbed his father, and I'm just like, "Oh, okay." So
That's the
I mean,
point. Yeah, we got you.
that's
So,
always
basically you're just like to see people that watches you and flinch while you're laughing,
yes.
basically
I
the
like to
shock.
yes, I like to elicit emotions from people because if you get an emotion from me, I did my job. If you're just sitting on your hands and being indifferent, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. If you cheer, boo, go, or or anything, any emotion if I can get out of you, I did my job. So
And that's
and that's
exactly
what professional wrestling is about.
what I felt when I saw the Thumbtack guitar from Brain Damage at COD. I was like, it
Oh,
can't be too many Thumbtacks on that fucking head. It's very, very too much, it's too much.
yeah. He hit me with that guitar. I was like, okay, here we go. And that was a heavy guitar, and it had a
I
lot, and
saw
those
it.
packs were in there. And I was like, and as soon as he hit me, I just kind of went down. I was like, oh, that hurt really bad. And I just that was genuine pain y'all saw me because I didn't really go ah. I'm just like, oh God, let me.
And that's one of the questions I was saving for later, but now I have to ask you what it
Yeah.
feels like to being hit with a thumbtack bat or just a thumbtack object, because they're actually my favorite as a fan.
They hurt. I mean, if you get a whole bunch of them and they crack you upside the head or back or shoulders, and if they just they can. I mean, everything hurt. I mean, a lot of that stuff hurts. I mean, people think, oh, you're just breaking light tubes, they're hollow, but I mean, you get hit with about 5 or 6 of them, it starts to sting. And then, yeah, those thumbtack bats. I mean, they're a great visual, and I mean, they hurt a little bit. Like I said, that's a very that match with that triple threat from the second round tournament of death. That was me, brain damage, and the Necro Butcher, and he just came from Detroit with that one. Wow, and I was like, it looked
Yeah,
great.
the
I saw
visual was
some
great.
videos and some people just like, gotta listen
That
to
was
motion,
great.
and I got it.
But brain damage was great as well, so that's
Oh
that's
man,
what it is.
oh man,
I
hey,
miss him
he,
so much.
he was great dude, man. Like I said, I know you've probably heard him. He was one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. But dude, but when he was in the ring, he meant business, and you better bring it. And
Mox told that in his book as well. Was it had very kind words for brain damage.
mhm.
Mm, by the way, there is another question that I want to ask you, and you were telling before that you came back, but could you tell the story of how you know came out of your bad shape, bad physical shape, and went on back on
Yeah,
track?
yeah, I can do that. Well, what had happened was, I mean, I had gotten after I won Carnage Cup, I had said I was going to retire and start a family. I was just about to have my son. I tried to play dad and husband, and I'm a great dad, but I come to find out I'm just not a good husband. And me and the wife she had her problems, and I had to hold it down for a while. And when I was trying to hold it down and take care of things, I kind of let myself go, and I ballooned up to astronomical. Well, I was 386 pounds at one time, and the doctor told me, he's like, if you better do something. And I got some weird. I don't want to get into it, but I mean, because it just sounds crazy. I mean, I had sleep paralysis episodes where people were looking over me, and eventually I heard a voice that said that I was going to die, and it just shook. It just, I mean, just thinking about it now just scares the hell out of me thinking about it. And that day, I just said, when I'm about to turn 40, and I need to start losing this weight. And the first year, I lost about 40 pounds, and then 2020 came, and then that's when the COVID hit, and all that. And I just said, you know what? And there was here in the United States, they were doing elections, and it was very hot topic. And I didn't even want to look on social media, so I just got off social media completely and just worked on myself. My children's mother came back, and she went and got help for herself. And I just while she was doing that, I sat there and got myself back into shape. And once I had got I lost. I mean, I'm 252 pounds now. So I mean, I've lost 140 pounds. So it's really good. And last year when I came back, I mean, it was just I started off. Well, let me just say this: I started off just walking, and then I and I started jogging, and then when all the weight came off, and when I came back to wrestle, I didn't have all my strength because all I was doing was cardio and yoga. So for the first half of last year, I didn't my strength wasn't there, and eventually it built up. But yeah, I mean, it was just really hard. I could just getting back to all that, just having to balance what was going on in my family life because my whole family had they splintered. And I almost lost everything except my son. I got custody of my son, and I was just trying to hold it down for him. and and his mom was having problems, and I let all that. I just let a whole bunch of outside forces get the best of me, and then I just one day I just said, you know what? I said I gotta start doing for myself. I gotta do something for the. I can't just rely on other people. I got to do for myself, and now with this exercise and stuff, and being able to get back into wrestling, which has been a blessing. It really has, and I can't say how much. I mean, just the opportunity that's been given. I've got to go to California for Crimson Crown and do the Supreme shows, and I got to work for ICW. And now I'm doing Tournament of Death. And I even, despite what Ian Rotten fucking up and all that stuff, I mean, he gave me my door in back. I mean, I did some really good shows for him. I mean, I was for the most part, man, last year I was just really happy with what I did now, and just the fact that where I came from, and I think it's a good comeback story.
Yeah, it
I
is.
I really think it is. I mean, and it's a shame that a lot of promotions hasn't really jumped on that. Ian was supposed to jump on that, but he never did.
That's very unfortunate. Yeah, but it's a
It
very,
is.
very, good story to tell. As a fan, I always get involved with this, just like the personal stories of the workers outside of the ring that can be transferred inside of it. For example, AC Mac did one good thing before Atticus Cogar attacked him at Southeast Pro. Southeast, I can't remember how the name is, like the Uncharted territory. And he
Uh,
told like
yes,
he told like I am the first gay champion, and
yes,
this is a world title, and I want to keep through the world, keep going through the world, and all that
yes.
stuff. And it was a personal story. It was a success story, just
It is
like
a success for you. I was
but
actually there when AC Mack won the title.
yeah, yeah, and it
Because it
was
was right up the road from where I live, man. I was so happy for him. And let me tell you something, AC Mack is a hell of a wrestler, a
it is
hell of a
is
guy on the
is
microphone, everything, man. He's the real deal, man. AC Mack's a good dude, and
and
I'm
it was
very proud of
inspirational.
what he's
It
done.
was
Yes,
very
he is inspirational, very
That's the
much so.
point. That's the point, yeah. The point is telling stories as a fan has always been very
Yes,
important to me to follow those. And talking about Tournament of Death, since you talked about it, you only took part in one. It was the 2007, if I can remember correctly.
Tournament Death
So,
6.
and you didn't came very far, but you had probably one of the best performances of the night. No,
Thank you.
you actually went far. I think you
I
made
went
to
to
the
the
semifinals.
semifinals. I
Yeah,
me and Freak Show in the first round, and then me, Brain Damage, and Necro in the second round.
but that was not my favorite match that you had with Freak Show. My favorite was the one in Deep South, in which you had the thumbtack fried pan, and you know
Oh, that one. Yes, I remember that
I
one.
love that.
I really enjoyed that match. You know what? Me and Freak Show had some really good matches together. I mean, some of them you saw seen on DVD, but we had a whole bunch that weren't even videotaped before we even just in the South. We'd have some really wild matches. We'd be throwing each other off balconies and all kinds of stuff. But
Six stuff.
me and Free Show, we were great tag partners, but we were just as good as opponents too.
Yeah,
And I really enjoyed my match with him at Tournament of Death, and I enjoyed both. I thought I did. I was very proud of both my Tournament of Death matches. I like the one I had with him and Necro and Brain
they
Damage.
had a very big Abdullah the Butcher versus the Sheik feel to it. Just like just brawl all the time. That's what it was.
Yes.
Was very entertaining. But talking back about Tournament of Death, what are your feelings going into it since CZW has changed very much? They didn't do deathmatch anymore before this, and the latest Tournament of Death have been very, complained by the fans. They couldn't drink, and they couldn't have fun like they did before at DJ's house and all that stuff. So, what are your thoughts going into it with this changed combat zone wrestling?
I don't have it. Honestly, I don't have a promotion that I can call home. So I'm kind of just looking for a place. And if DJ called me and said, "Hey, we want you," and you know what? If you want to want me to run the ball, I'll do it. I don't care. I mean, I know there for a while they had their problems and whatnot, but that's none of my business. I'm here to do business, and I'm here to do what I need to do. And because I don't have a big system behind me. I don't have, I don't have 4-4. I don't have a entourage like 440. I don't have a big promotion. I don't have Matt Tremont or Brett Lauderdale or Danny DeMono backing me up every to give me hey, this guy's the guy, because I've never been one of them. And because and I don't know why. I just felt like I've just been that outcast guy, but everybody likes, but like, well, we just don't know, because I'm just, I real honestly don't get it. But however, DJ said, said we want you, and you know what? He's going to get me, and I have every intention of going in there and whooping ass. I don't care who it is. It can be the Bev, it can be Mickey, it can be Big F and Joe, it can be the Necro Butcher. I don't give a shit. It can be Brad Cash, my own tag team partner. I don't care, because time is running out for me. I'm 43 years old. I've got one tournament win to my name, and it wasn't even that good of a tournament. I mean, it was Carnage Cup, but still, I mean, it wasn't the greatest field. I need, I need this. I need to have that signature, another signature thing on me. I've been JCW Tag Team Champions with Ian. I've got the Carnage Cup. I've won regional belts around this area, but nonetheless, I've done shows everywhere. Before I finish this, I want to win one more major tournament, and I'm not going to do every single tournament there is. I'm going to be picky, but the ones I'm going to do, they're going to be relevant, and I want to win one of these days, because I'm in the best shape I've been in damn 10 years.
Well, that was one hell of a, advertisement for yourself, and an advice for everyone involved in the tournament. Watch your back. And
Yes.
personally, after what you said, I can't wait to see what you're gonna do. So that's another one. Talking about deathmatch, because you told before that you weren't a deathmatch wrestler in the first place, but then you became one because basically people wanted you to be one, and you went, you got along with the idea. So there's one thing. I've been a deathmatch wrestling fan since I was basically 9 year old when I watched Mick Foley versus Edge at WrestleMania 22, and
Oh
since
yeah.
then I was clicked. So I saw that during the pandemic, everyone started doing death matches just because they were the only thing that was actually going in the market. So, what are your thoughts on these people? Both the one who did bad and both the one who did well. Just to name a few, Manders did very well, in my opinion. Another
Mhm.
one that did very well was, for example, Nolan Edward. I don't know if I can name him because of the cancel culture of my big dick,
Yeah, I mean,
but
he was good. I mean, regardless, he was good.
it was
Regardless.
very good. And there was also other wrestlers. For example, Dan Maff did a death match
Yeah.
and stuff. But what are your thoughts on them? Just doing something they never did before just because it was the only thing that was going on during that
You got to.
period.
Let me tell you something. You got to eat. I mean, if you want to be a professional wrestler and you want to go out there, and the only things available is death matches, and if you got the fucking stones to do it, do it. And if you're good at it, great. I have no problems with non-death match people doing death matches if you do it right and you respect it. But I mean, and you talk about Dan Moff. He did a death match. Matter of fact, he did one with Murdoch, the one I did at No Holds Bar 14 with Neil Diamond Cutter, and he was nothing but respectful during the whole process, before in the back and all that. So, so I mean, I've never really met anybody who was a non-death match guy that didn't respect what we did. And they're like, oh man, I've never done that. They usually are like, oh man, I've never done this before, or You know, but and eventually, some of them do really good, and some are like, I never want to do them again. That's fine, but you know what? If you're going to do them, just respect them, because if you run into one of these older guys like myself, Tank, Necro Butcher, guys who've been Nick Gage, one of the guys who've been in it a while, and you don't respect it, we're gonna beat the shit out of you, and
Like
you will respect it.
David Arquette respected it, but Nick Gage beat him up as well. So
Yeah, well,
it
David
was
Arquette
different.
didn't know what to expect.
It was different. Yeah, I
Yes.
can agree with you. So I had originally finished the questions, but since you named the match with Neil Diamond Cutter from the 4th of July show 2021, I want to ask you something. The
Okay.
stick spot, who came out with the idea? Because it was fucking genius.
We kind of both did. We found out we were going to be working each other. He said, and we both said, man, we need to do something. It's 4th of July. We need to do something with fireworks or something. And we said, well, sparklers. And we said, well, how about we get gussets? And he said, yeah, we'll get. I'll get Ryan to do it, Weapon Master Ryan from ICW to set them up. And when I got there, Neil said, what do you think of these? I was like, I like them. And then we said we're going to use them, and then we did the spot, and damn SPO started lighting up. We said, I can't believe you guys are doing this shit. You guys are crazy. And he starts lighting up our sparklers, and and I do the salute, and that was one of my most favorite matches from last year. It might be number one. I mean, that one and my match with Schlack and my match with Brad, and there were several matches I had, but those three really stuck out to me the most.
Yeah, that was probably the funniest match of the night, if I can
Yeah,
remember
I thank
correctly.
you. I appreciate that.
And it was probably the same night that Dan Maff went toe to toe with John Wayne Murdoch.
Yes, it was. It was the same night because that yeah, I was telling you because he was in there and he was like, I mean, he was very respectful and he was nervous, but but he went out there and did for a guy that doesn't do them, I thought he did a good job.
Did a good
And he
job,
was very
but
respectful, and he did the honors for John in a respectful way, and didn't try to do any more than he felt like he had to do.
I saw the match and I think it was like a little bit of scared of some things, but it came, it went on till the end. So
Yes.
that's basically what counts the most.
Yeah.
So, final question. I'm Italian, so my country actually made some very good horror films, and I can see one on your T right now. This is
Yes,
one
sir.
of
I'm
my
glad you
favorite
noticed
movies.
it.
Yeah. So, I actually knew Ruggero Deodato in person one time. It was very, very brilliant. But I want to ask you, what's your favorite Italian horror movie?
House. No, City of the Living Dead or The Gates of Hell, directed by Lucio Fulci. That's probably my
Which
favorite one.
was my favorite director ever, not just in horror. Lucio Fulci is my favorite,
I love Fulci too.
100%.
Yes, I'm a big Fulci fan. Actually every Friday before Halloween, I declare for the last 10 years, maybe 20 years, I've declared it Fulci Friday, and I watch nothing but Fulci movies the Friday before Halloween.
That's one of the best things one can do for Halloween. Do you like also the Giallo movies? Uh,
Yeah, oh, man, Argento, Bava. Yeah. I'm a very big fan of Italian horror cinema. I love it.
Also the ones from Fulci, like Don't Torture a Duckling, all that
Yeah,
stuff,
part of the Crystal Plumage, and
all that stuff.
yes, I like that. I'm a big fan of it. Yeah.
That's common actually. Unfortunately, we don't respect directors since like we did before, like 30
Yeah.
years ago. But America has always been very kind with our, genre directors. For
Yes.
example, Mario Bava, Lamberto Bava, actually.
Alberto, yes. Demons. Demons is a great movie. Demons one
Yeah,
and two. Yes. Yes, I love those.
you've always been so
I even like
respectful.
old Perfect Joe D'Amato. He's all right too.
Joe D'Amato as well, yeah. But
Yes.
there's just let's open the topic since we have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Joe D'Amato actually shouldn't have done porn to be over because it was over just for Anthropophagus. It didn't
Yeah.
need porn, but he didn't have a fucking nickel. So that's why he did
Okay.
them.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because we should have deserved more movies like Beyond Darkness and
Yep.
Anthropophagus and all that stuff. That's
Yeah.
very brilliant.
Yes.
So that was the last one. So Lane, there's something you want to tell before this interview is over?
No, this has been a really great interview. This is my first interview this year. I actually did a moratorium on interviews late last year. I wasn't going to do anymore. So this has been a real good treat to do. And I hope all your watchers go out there on the end of October and watch Tournament of Death and watch me win the damn thing. Because, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a great field. Orrin Vite's there, Mickey Knuckles, Big F and Joe, Brad Cash, Otis Kogar. I still got a little reminder from him, from a passing counter. So, I mean, any of them. I mean, I'll serve anybody, and like I said, I'm in the best mind frame and the best shape I've been in many years. So thank you for having me, and y'all be sure to check out Tournament of Death and on let me check the date because I ain't got October 29th. So y'all check that out, and I've got shows. I'll be at a TWE. Uh, Nightmare on Dayton Street the week before that, and I'll be at Action Wrestling the week before that. So I've got some stuff following up to this. But thank you for having me, and y'all have a
My
good one.
pleasure, sir. And that was Tales from the Prick, episode 19 with Insane Lane. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave a like on Instagram, on Facebook too. So just follow Tales from the Prick, and most importantly, support independent and deathmatch wrestling, everyone.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank
And
you.
just to end this, if I can remember correctly, Insane Lane is doing tea, teas. You're selling teas and merchandise right now.
Yeah, I'm doing a little fire sale. If you, it's going to end next Friday, and after that, I'm done. So if you've I've got, I've actually about sold out. I've got some pins, some little lapel pins, and some 8x10s, and some Brothers shirts left, and that's all I got. Most of the good stuff's already been got.
So give this man some money. He has to eat
Yes, give me
before
money,
he wrestles. Before he
please.
wrestles, he has to eat. So just give him money. That's what you have to do. So that was it. Thank you, Lane, and I hope to see you again. Maybe live next time. Can
Yes.
never say that. So that was it. Bye, Lane. Goodbye, everybody. Say hi, Lane, if you want. Say bye if you wanted.
Take care, guys. Thank you, sir.
And see you on the next episode of Tales from the Prick.